I barely found a fuck. Used to catch some feelings, ayy. Now I'm catching planes. I just want the billies, ayy. I won't ever change. Woke up in the hillies, yeah. Red dots on my phone. If it ain't about money, then bitch, leave me alone. Cause I don't wanna die too.
So, good evening, welcome to Marketing's April Town Hall. Before we get into the meat of the show, where we'll be focusing on SL and the history department, I would like to first thank everyone who represented their divisions in KSI's 2019 spring break a couple weeks ago. And obviously, with that comes a huge congratulations to ES for winning it all. We all know how much work and preparation goes into these annual events, so huge shout out to them. These last few annual events they said haven't been gone too well for them, but then they turned around and get first place in spring break. So huge shout out to ES for coming out on top in KSI's first annual event of the year. So, to add on to that, as most of you know, with the end of spring break brings the beginning of the 2019 Divisional Cup. If you aren't aware of what Div Cup is, it's pretty much an 8-month battle between all the divisions, or a 9-month battle, I believe, between all the divisions to prove who the best division in KSI is. There are multiple ways to earn points for your division. So let's take a look at this month's newsletter, which was written by the news department, and Nebula also helped out with it, along with all the department heads, to see the events that give you points for your division. So, first off, we have the news department. As they ran last year, we have these so you can write once a month. It's open, I think, pretty much the whole month, besides like a few days at the end. So that's going to be a every month thing again. And April's theme is actually Game of Thrones. So I know we've got a lot of Game of Thrones viewers. I know it's a very popular show, and the last season's actually starting up soon. So if you're into Game of Thrones, definitely go in there and write up. I think it's about which house you belong to and why you belong to that house. So definitely go check that out in the news section. And also, social media. This is something new this year. We didn't have it last year in Divisional Cup. So KSI's first ever Twitter Blitz will be going live this Easter weekend, which I believe is the 19th to the 21st. Simply, you can get points by your division by going onto the Twitter, making your Twitter, and they'll throw up a tweet, and you'll pretty much respond to it, and you'll say what division you're a part of. Literally, as long as you make a Twitter before then, it literally takes 3 seconds to reply and say, hey, I'm a part of SL or DL or DW or whatever division you're a part of. So that's a very easy way to get your division points for the month, as well as Twitter Blitz is double points for this month. So you definitely want to be pushing that to everyone in your division to make a Twitter. Easy points. Graphics. So this is another new event this year for Div Cup. It is the signature of the week. Obviously, we didn't have this last year, so pretty much it'll be a weekly or bi-weekly competition in the graphics section. They'll post up, a signature of the week competition. Anyone can enter. I believe you get 3 points for winning, 2 points for entering, and 1 point for voting. So even if you aren't artistic, like me, I'm not artistic at all. I can't do any of that graphic stuff. You still can get points by going up there and voting for which signature you think is the best, and then the winner is announced at the end of the week. So, another easy way to get yourself points. And once again, another new addition to Div Cup for this year was the Spotlight Awards. Obviously, HSI, kind of was formed halfway through Div Cup last year, so they didn't have the opportunity to be involved in it, but they do this year. So, Spotlight Awards. April Spotlight Awards are going live on the 28th, I believe. They'll be open for 2 weeks or so. And they'll end on May 12th at midnight. So if you go nominate someone, I believe you nominate a 7 and a member, you get a point for your division. So another easy way to get points. And then one of our last ones here. Productions, as last year, as the same as last year. Clip a montage event. It runs every month. It closes a few days before. Sorry, I just got a message here. It closes a few days before the month ends. You can go on there. You can submit a clip, get a point for your division, or you can submit a montage, and 2 points for your division. So if you actively record game clips, it's very easy to do. With the website, you go on there, you copy and paste your clip, and you paste it in the form. So super easy. And then, lastly, this is probably the biggest event that everyone looks forward to: Weekend Warfare. Obviously, we have four to five Weekend Warfares a month, depending on how many Saturdays there are. So each participant you have from your division, you get 1 point for. So last weekend was Valhalla. It was actually one of the biggest weekend warfares in a very, very long time. I believe we had over 50 sign-ups, and like 48 people attend, which is super, super crazy. We haven't seen that in a while. And then this weekend will be Rocket League 2v2. And then the 20th will be Smite 3v3, and then the 27th will actually be World of Tanks. So it'll be the first time we've ever done World of Tanks Weekend Warfare. Definitely something with a free game, so anyone can participate as long as y'all are around. So definitely let's try to get involved in those. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So if y'all have any questions about any events that go into Div Cup, obviously feel free to reach out to your division's marketing reps. If you don't know who your reps are, ask in y'all's general chat or whatever. Or if you just pay attention, it's probably the people pushing out, 3 times a day an event with a link to, try and encourage y'all to go participate. So feel free to reach out to them, or KSI Nebula 7, or KSI Dropshot 7. Alright, so now that all of the announcements are out of the way, let's move in for the division we will be focusing on for this month, which is obviously SL. For the month of April, we decided that we were going to focus on KSI's newest division, but a division that has seen a lot of transformation and growth since its creation in October of last year. At the time of creation, the original leadership was only KSI Star 787, who was founded at the time. As we all know, with growth of a division also brings room for promotions as well. This is why Scars, who we do have here with us today, has seen himself move into the division leader role in SL since its creation, not even 6 months ago. So, Scars, welcome to April's Town Hall, and feel free to introduce yourself.
What's up? As you said, I'm KSI Scar 77. I'm the current division leader for Sovereign Legacy. Been in KSI maybe about 2 years. I think 2 years and like 5 days. Originally part of EO. Yeah.
So obviously you're div leader in SL. Do you hold any other positions in the community currently? I know you were former, department head of productions. I know you just recently stepped down. Do you hold any of your other positions as well?
As right now, a court judge, senior staff on AAP, senior staff on CDC. And as of right now, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I know you're someone who's been actively involved in departments for a very long time, so always love to see that. Moving on here. Obviously, you said you were originally from EO. Obviously, now you're in SL, just created 6 months ago. Are those the only divisions you've been a part of? Have you been a part of anywhere else? Kind of explain that to us.
I was recruited at EO back in 2017. Yeah, 2017. I grew to the co-division leader rank by 2018, and then obviously I transferred over to SL. Been in SL ever since.
Yeah, so you said you're originally from EO. I was actually originally from EO. Well, I technically recruited into Twisted Warfare, but a few weeks afterwards we split into EO. So I'm EO is where I call home. So I always love seeing someone else from EO, even if it was after it changed from Explosive Ordnance to Explosive Outlaws. Always love to see it. So you've been in SL since its creation, obviously. Can you tell us a little bit about your time in the division? Any notable promotions, any mentors you've had since becoming founder, and how did leader in SL? Any major events, etc.
All right. So as you mentioned earlier, when I first came over, I was the only 7. And at the time, it was still the ending of what was forced seduction, as well as the merger with Crimson Dawn, and then we created a new division. Decided to give it a name, so we ended up creating Sovereign Legacy. Since then, honestly, the one person that's kind of helped me every step of the way since I've even been in KSI is KSI Ronan 77. Anybody that knows me knows that's the case. Ronan's always been a big person, me going up the ranks and. Probably one of my best friends in KSI as a whole. Aside from that, I have my two co-founders, who were at the time were honestly the people who helped carry the division. They did all the grunt work. They did all the groundwork. They helped what it is, which is KSI Rock Dog 7 and KSI Griffle 7. They were the only two gens I had when I came over, and now they're my co-founders. Both led their squads to split. Knights split into Royalty to keep that squad alive, and then Imperial, which was under Griffle, split and created Templar. Aside from that, as far as the DMPs, 50% KSI tags, squad splits, and hopefully we'll be having more coming soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was actually taking a look at y'all's DMPs today, which for those of you who don't know is Divisional Milestone Program. You get awards based on your standing of your division, like placements and annual events such as Spring Break, Turkey Bowl, etc. But you also get points, or you also get awards just for simply having a certain amount of KSI tags in your division. So that's what Scars talked about. They have all three tiers of the KSI tags, which is awesome. It's not completely unheard of, but it's definitely something that every division strives for, and it's definitely not an easy thing to do. I know I went through ours the other day, and we're at like 44%, and I thought we had a lot, so I can only imagine 50%. So you kind of touched on this next question, but what's the current leadership within SL? Obviously, you have Div Leader, and you talked about your two co-founders. Do y'all have a director or acting director at the time?
So, following the theme of my entire career when it comes to direct situation, Ronan, the senior director, is currently SL's acting director. And I obviously myself being the div leader and Griffle and Rock being my current co-founders. That is the entire Divisional 7 staff for SL as of right now.
Cool. Yeah, Ronan. I've kind of noticed that Ronan does, has seemed to follow whatever division you're in. He's obviously was once part of EO and director of EO, obviously. Now he's acting director of SL. So it's always nice to have someone like that you look up to and has helped you along the step of the way. Every step of the way, it's kind of nice to have that with you and to kind of fall back on whenever you need someone to, conversate with or get advice with. So moving on past you specifically and the past and your past, let's move on to the current state of SL. So can you go into a little bit about the squads that y'all currently have and, any generals, division, or generals, the names of the squads, game type, stuff like that?
All right, yeah, so starting out, obviously, the three original squads. Royalty is an open game type squad, focusing on Black Ops 4, a little bit of Arc, some Rainbow. It's kind of open. It's currently headed by KSI Diamond Cat. He's the current gen for Royalty. Going over to Knights, the Knight squad is primarily at the moment Black Ops 4. Obviously, Apex Legends is a big factor across the board, but right now it's Black Ops 4. I guess you would call Apex 2. That is run by KSI Kakashi 7. Imperial is another we're a big Black Ops 4 division, so it's another Black Ops 4 squad. They had a little bit of GTA going on with Apex Legends, but primarily Black Ops 4. That is run by KSI IB Yomami. Funny game tag. And then the Templar squad is our Tom Clancy squad, mainly Division 2, some Rainbow, and obviously they still have Black Ops 4 involved as well. That is run by KSI Cinecon.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I noticed y'all have a lot of Black Ops 4. I think you said every squad has some bit of Black Ops 4 in there. Definitely, Call of Duty always a game. A good game to build a squad around because it's never really going to die out. It's always going to keep releasing every year. So definitely a good game to have. Kind of build your foundation on. All right, so let's move on to the strengths of SL. So if you had to pick a few strengths, 2 or 3. What do you think the strengths of Sovereign Legacy at this moment are? Is it recruiting, PO workshops, game nights? What is it?
Something I've told a lot of people is one of the funny things about SL. Obviously, recruiting is definitely their best strength, especially the strength we have. I get recruiting. My last 3 months alone, I think my top 3 recruiters primarily were not even officers. We're talking about 6, 7, 8 recruits. They have the ability to inspire people to, if they don't want to move up, They inspire them to go out, get recruits, help grow the squad. Put leave their little mark on it. Also with that, PO workshops are always being ran, always being hosted by somebody. Everyone wants, they want to sit in on them or they want to host them. And then aside from that, I mean, they're very receptive. When we make calls and decisions for the division, they're very receptive to it. They believe in what we do. Which that may seem like a weird quirk, but a weird thing for a strength. But I'll be honest with you, if you try and pitch an idea in any division and everybody's rejecting it and just going against the grain, you're obviously gonna see the fallout. And I don't think you have that in SL.
Yeah, definitely recruiting is always, it's something always, every division always tries to strive at. So it's definitely always good to have good recruiters, and that kind of ties into motivation as well. Like you said, most of your top recruiters for the last few months have even been officers. So that ties into motivation, which isn't just, like you can have all the motivation in the world, but if people below you don't have motivation, it's kind of pointless. So that shows that everyone in SL is motivated. So that's definitely a huge thing when it comes to growing a division. All right. So obviously we talked about your strengths. You gave us, recruiting, PO workshops, stuff like that. What do you think your division can improve on the most? So kind of a weakness. Where do you think SL can improve the most?
All right. So there's two routes I can go with this. If you were to ask one of my co-founders, it'd be leadership development. To me, I'm gonna flip that a little bit. Obviously, with a lot of recruiting, two things typically happen. One, you're more on a express train to retain that growth, and at the same point, you need officers to come up to help manage that growth. So I think right now, as that's kind of SL's weakness at the moment is, with all this growth, it's hard trying to play catch up. Most of my two bigger squads, one has 12 officers, the other one has 9, so they're in good shape. But the other ones are, but we look for quality in our officers. So, trying to build it up, that takes time, but obviously the recruiting's there because it's from non-officers doing the recruiting. So we're just trying to, make sure that's working. And then myself, Griff, or Rock, we will try and, Griffel has a weekly meeting where he talks to the officers about, potentially being gens and how to, be better officers, how to look at things a little differently. So for us, it's every day. It's what education can we throw out there? What can we do to? We can use the CEP workshops to kind of help that cause as well. And there's other workshops on the forums that are not for awards, but they have their pros and cons to, like time management, stress management, and stuff like that. So we kind of tie that in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You always, hearing this day in HKSI, we always hear the term quality over quantity, which is definitely something everyone should strive for, especially when it comes to recruiting. Because, I feel like pretty much anyone in this community, if they really wanted to recruit, they can set out and they can recruit, X amount of people in a week or a month or however long. But it's recruiting quality members, not quantity. That kind of ties into member retention, like you said. Retaining members is, that's the other half when it comes to recruiting. You can recruit all day long, but if a month from now those members still don't want to be actively involved in the community, coming to game night, stuff like that, then, it's almost like you didn't recruit them at all. So, member retention is definitely, just as important as recruiting when it comes to that and building the squad. All right. So one of the last questions here is, obviously, y'all are newest division, like I said. Y'all only been around for 6 months. But y'all have grown very, very rapidly. I believe y'all are the biggest division in KSI right now, which is awesome. And y'all numbers are just climbing every day. It's just astonishing every time I look at them. But like I said, y'all have only been around for 6 months. So what are y'all's goals for the next, 6 months to a year? Where would you like to see SL, say, a year from now?
Okay, so obviously, div splits are voodoo curses, so that is best case scenario. But a realistic goal for me, honestly, like I said, work on this retention. Obviously, with a lot of growth and we're working on retention, we're gonna have some fluff. So obviously, getting that handled now moving forward, hopefully we find a better way to rotate the recruits in and make them a part of the squad. So hopefully we'll be at high numbers. Hopefully I'll have a full 7 staff, and hopefully I might be in line for a promotion. Who knows? Either way, you know, the idea for this division is to be self-sufficient. For those that don't know me, my daughter was just born, so obviously, you know, barring anything with that, it may cause me to have to leave, step down, whatever the case may be. So for me, getting this division to a point where it succeeds without me, which I know it can, but to just firmly believe that I give whoever's behind me a really, really good division is honestly what my goal has always been. So 6 months from now, full 7 staff, 6 squads at least. A year from now, hopefully a bid split. Give a new division back to KSI. After we just merged them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it does go to something, you know, every dev that seems like their end goals. And but no, my dev leader, that's something, you know, she always tells me is that if I had to step away for whatever reason, I want to, you know, leave DL in the best position to where it can run sufficiently without me. And I think it's kind of in the same boat you are. I think that's the goal for most sevens in this community is, you know, if you leave, you know, those around you can do just as good as a job. You know, obviously it's going to be a little bit tougher, but they can still do just as good of a job without you as they are with you. So a lot of goes into play with that. And I'll sneak one more question in here for you to wrap it up.
Shoot.
Obviously, like I mentioned, y'all have been growing rapidly. Y'all have been going crazy the last 6 months. What do you attribute SL's success to mainly? You know, a few things. Is it y'all's motivation? Is it, you know, y'all's training? What do you think it is?
Honestly, all right, so originally off the back, I mean, when people change their gamer tags, you know, someone's in that party with them, like, yo, you know, if you want to do it, this, you know, I'll show you how to recruit right now. If you know, if that's something you're interested in, and then, you know, we try and back that up with positive feedback. This is now very rarely do we never really yelled at anybody. So people enjoy recruiting for us because they know what it means. They know, you know, it's dope. And honestly, we've been riding the waves of splits that we've had recently because we split Knights in the Royalty in January, split Imperial and the Templar in February. People are still riding that train. But honestly, it's just the ability to motivate people to, you know, help participate, you know, want to become officers in squads, in the division. And a lot of that is because of my gens, my officers, and my 2 sevens and my 2 co-founders. Because like I said, I came over as a 7. These guys were gens, and the current gens were captains and lieutenants and staff sergeants that they know how important growth is. They know how important, you know, recruiting is, and they had fun doing it. They were good. They were accomplished. They were, you know, consistent recruiters. They found a way to pass that on to the next generation. I think every squad's got, you know, a really, really, really dominant recruiter, and at the least, and that kind of helps motivate you because, like I said, you know, every squad's got a little tight-knit family, and when people get brought into that family, they, you know, they like what they see and they want to be a part of it, and in the process, they're inspired to do more, and therefore they do.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that was sort of, you know, a long answer, but definitely the end of it, motivation. That's definitely something every division has to have. If your officers aren't motivated, the 7 staff isn't motivated. Even your sergeants and corporals. You know, the sergeants and corporals make up way more of this community than the officers and generals and 7. So if they're not motivated to come out and participate in these events or, you know, help with recruiting, like you mentioned earlier, then it's really, really tough for these squads to grow and these divisions to grow. So yeah, that's definitely something every division tends to strive for. But yeah, that of course was Mr. KSI 7, division leader of Sovereign Legacy. Like I said, I keep saying this over and over, I keep repeating myself, but it truly is incredible what you guys have been able to do these last 6 months, and it was also awesome being able to have you on the show tonight, Scars. And looking forward to catching up with you in the future. I know, you said Havoc was inviting you. I don't know if you still have to go to that meeting. If not, feel free to hang out for the rest of the show. But yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming out tonight, and it was nice having you on the show, and nice hearing your insight
Thanks for
on what's going on in SL. Yeah, absolutely. All right. And for the second half of the show, we will be focusing on a department that, like SL, is a little bit newer to KSI. The History, Statistics, and Information Department was formed in mid-2018, HSI for short. I'm going to call it HSI because History, Statistics, and Information is a little bit long, so we'll stick to HSI for the rest of the stream. But it was formed in mid-2018, and we actually have both the head and co-head of the department here with us tonight. So, introductions, Fades, we will start with you. Feel free to introduce yourself.
All right. Hello. I'm KSI Fade 7. I'm the department head of HSI. I'm currently a member of Divine Warriors. And yeah, hi.
Welcome. Green Day, your turn.
My controller doesn't want me to talk, apparently. Hi, I am KSI Green Day 7. I am the co-head of HSI. I am also a staff sergeant in Sovereign Legacy.
Cool. So, question for each of you. How long have y'all been a member of HSI? Like I said, it's only been around since mid of last year, so have y'all been in for a few months? Have y'all been in since creation? Green Day, we'll start with you this time.
So, I'm gonna just go based off the fact of when it was called History. So, I've technically been in HSI for a year now. I'm gonna say roughly a year because I don't have the exact date.
Cool. And Fades, what about you?
It would be 6 months.
Right. And to add on to kind of the first question, what I know everyone in this party, like I said before, is actively involved in many departments. Y'all say y'all's division. Can y'all go into a little bit more depth about y'all's other departments, what other departments y'all are in, form staff, stuff like that? Fades, go ahead.
All right, yes. So outside of HSI, I'm heavily involved in news. I'm one of the 2 senior news writers. I am a court judge. I'm a rejoin moderator. And I'm also, well, we'll throw this in too, I'm also one of our new game journalists that you might see on the forums in those new sections.
And Green Day.
Alright, so outside of HSI, I am also a marketing representative. That was actually my first department. I am also a forums moderator, a KSI court judge. And that's it. My brain's not working.
Happens to the best of us. Yeah, a lot of court judges in here though, so sadly Fireheart's the odd man out, not being court judge.
Hey. I'm a marketing fish.
Yeah, okay. Firehearts and marketing being Green Day, so that counts. But no, like I've said before, love to see people actively involved in
bullies.
Departments are just as important to this community as Clan Ops is. So absolutely love to see people actively involved in multiple departments. Right, so let's talk a little bit about HSI. Got a few questions here. We're going to alternate. So what is the current leadership within HSI? Head, co-head, any staff y'all have? Fades, go ahead.
Well, the current leadership we do not currently have any senior staff, but I'm the department head. Green Day here is my awesome co-head.
All right, cool. Are there any plans for possible senior staff in the future, or is that not something we can talk about?
Well, I'd say there's plans for it, but I can't really let anyone know those yet. It's kind of confidential. But, keep an eye out in the meeting notes. Might see that.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Green Day, at a general level, obviously y'all do a lot for the community, many different aspects. So can you describe to us what HSI does for the community in the best possible way you can?
Okay, so what HSI does is we record the history and statistics of everything that happened so we may learn from the past and make sure members get recognition. Like, anybody who wanted to see, for example, like, best example I can give off the top of my head, we have Weekend Warfare stats. We don't record participation, but we do record the first 3 winners. My daughter says hi. So if anyone wanted to say, hey, Fireheart, I came before you in something, a Forza event or something, even though he was a streamer, they could do that. Or keep track of who wins in general for their division. Be like, let's give congrats to these guys. We also do that mainly because it helps keep track of divisional participation and stuff, like the So You Think You Can Write, member spotlight, who wins, etc. It helps give recognition to people. We also do this so that we may learn from our past and continue to move forward towards improvement and success, because it it was very hard to find all this stuff before when it was still history. I don't know if anyone remembers that, but I think now it's a lot easier to find, for example, Dropshot's history when he was a little baby.
Okay,
Please don't hurt me.
Just because we knew each other when you were first in KSI all those years ago and we were part of AAP together does not mean I was a little baby. Okay. But no. Definitely, y'all definitely do a lot for the community. They decide, especially just your section on the forums, it's so much more cleaned up now than it used to be. So much easier to find stats, or when I do these town halls and we're focusing on the division, I go through and I look through the divisional history y'all have posted up, just so I can write my little intro for the division, when they were created, or original 7 staff and stuff like that. Makes it easier on myself. Makes it easier on people just that want to learn more about a specific division or their division or stuff like that. I noticed one thing that you didn't mention was y'all do the monthly top recruiters. So 7 staff, reminder to go do those before Green Day sends you a very passive aggressive DM on Discord. Maybe she just does that with me. I don't know, but reminder to go do that. I think it closes on the 11th, correct?
Yes, sir.
Because you don't share cookies with me.
You don't ask. Alright. Moving on. Fades. So what would you say that HSI's main focus is at the moment? Are you focusing on a specific aspect of the community? Are you focusing on, doing, y'all focus on many stuff like Dave says, are y'all focusing on one specific thing? Or are y'all just kind of trying to be, do everything?
Well, just kind of touch on that, and you mentioned it a bit. Department-wise, we're a very new fledgling department. We just popped up last year. So while our focus is spread across the board because we have so much that we're trying to keep track of, through the divisions, events, individual histories, stats, all that stuff, our main focus right now really is integration with the community. We want to make sure that we're fully integrated and running smoothly, and just trying to focus on getting us there and more established, essentially. You touched on our forum section with cleaning that up, and that's I feel a good example of trying to do that and trying to just make everything available the best way we can.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely, integrating. A large part of that is just getting awareness out about what y'all do. To the members of the community, it's definitely an important part. The more people know about y'all, the more likely they are to check y'all out, stuff like that. So I think y'all done an excellent job the last year or so of making yourselves known. Like I said, cleaning up y'all's section, just doing all these different things for the community. So I think y'all are already on top of that and well on y'all's way to success. Alright, so this next question, which is actually, the last question I'm going to ask you guys. Feel free, either one of y'all can take the floor on it, y'all can jump in, y'all can add to each other, whatever y'all want to do. But what are y'all's long-term goals for the department? Like, obviously, y'all only been around for about a year now, maybe a little less. So where would y'all like to see yourselves in 6 months, or the end of 2019, or, wherever y'all set yourselves in the future? Where would y'all like to see yourselves and HSI?
is
Not
the
all.
part
I'll
where
let
we
you
awkwardly
mention
wait
first.
for the other to... Okay. So I mean, the long-term goal for that, really, my long-term personal goal, and you know, Green Day will definitely touch on this and add her own bit to it. But I would love to see HSI as a household name in each division. I would love to have representation from every single division in HSI, because you know what we're trying to do here is for the community, you know, for the members, so they can go back and learn from things, and we can kind of do this. And I feel like the best way to do that is to have the involvement from the members. So that's really like the big goal for me, is having, you know, you join, you come in, and you hear about HSI, you know, you have a representative in your division you can talk to about these things, who can help you find that stuff. That's really where I would like to be with the department in the next 6 months to a year.
Green Day, do you have anything to add on to that?
My daughter being a brat.
That's
So-
not a goal.
No, it's not. So my thing with HSI that I've always tried to, in a way, inspire to people to look more into it. I loved our history. I always have. I always feel like when we look back, we should be able to see who was where. Like now, because of our divisional history section, it's so easy to find who used to be our leaders. Because like for me, for example, like DR, it was so difficult to try to figure out who the leaders were. Nowadays, even though the division doesn't have a section of its own, because rest in peace,
Rip.
something like EO. EO is like a really old division, and you can see an entire list, or LS, for example, a better example, you can see an entire list of who used to run that division, what milestones they got, if they won Sphere Week, Spring Break. And the other thing too is you can see what like their game types are, who's in charge of them. It's so easy now to be able to find leaders and everything else that it makes it like, I love it. I love the organization of it. And the other part is I love reading member histories. I can't express that enough. I do, because I love seeing people take the time to write something about themselves, because at the end of the day, each and every one of us is important, and what we do matters. Because if it wasn't for us, the community wouldn't grow as much as it does. So I like reading like Fuzzy Meep's history, Fades' history, Airborne's history, like all those. I love reading them because you can learn so much from other people. That was long-winded.
No, perfectly acceptable. I'm kind of like you. I'm a history nerd. I've always loved history in every aspect, and that's something that always has interested me since I joined KSI. It's, you know, where did this person come from? You know, what's their home division, or who was the leader back when this happened? You know, things like that. It's always something I'm trying to figure out. I'm always, you know, striving to learn. So no, y'all definitely, you know, done very, very well this last year. You've got some, you know, very bright staff, and just saying I would represent DL, I would come join HSI, but I feel like if I try to join another department, Scotland may ban me from all of them. So not even gonna push that button.
He may just blacklist you.
Yeah, honestly, maybe so. Hey Scotland, can I join this department? Nope, you're blacklisted. All right, lit. But no, as we said, that was obviously KSI Fade 7 and KSI Green Day 7, head and co-head of HSI. I think, are y'all technically our newest department? Has there been a newer department since y'all were formed?
That is
Nope.
us.
We focused on the newest division and the newest department in today's show, which obviously SL and HSI have just grown rapidly. They've done so much for the community over the past year, so definitely shout out to HSI. Thank y'all for everything y'all do. And Fades and Green Day, thank y'all for being here tonight. It was a pleasure to have you and speak with you.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Anytime. It's great.
Yeah. But yeah, that is going to wrap it up for April's Town Hall. Everyone that is watching, thank everyone that tuned into the stream. I see y'all dropping questions and comments in there, so thank y'all definitely. Obviously, shout out to Scars from SL and Fades and Green Day from History. statistics and for information, for coming out, being good sports, and actually listening to me ramble and answering my questions. So yeah, be on the lookout for an announcement within the next couple weeks for Marketing's May Town Hall. Not sure on a division yet, but we're looking at doing productions. Hint, hint. But nothing's confirmed yet. So be on the announcement, or be on the lookout for an announcement in those Divs chats or in the notes within the next couple of weeks. But other than that, like I said, thank everyone, especially you, Fireheart, for coming out and streaming tonight. Always shout out to productions. None of this would be possible without any of y'all. So thanks everyone that tuned in.
It's my job.
And we will see y'all next month.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.